Hi, I'm Brad, and this is one of those videos that I had to make because it's so cool. Everyone right now is currently talking about using VR devices to do AR, but in your real life zone with cameras. And while I think there might be something there, I'm not sure based on the first generation mixed reality headset that it's going to be that compelling for a while. There's a lot of like just ugliness. Like, I mean, you can see my room's kind of a mess, and being able to develop things that can plan for all these different room setups is about as crazy as developing for like room scale back when VR first re-entered the consumer scale spectrum. There's also a lot of issues with processing power, and really the cameras are not very high dynamic range. They're very ugly, or they're just overlaid over a black and white filter. It's just not compelling right now, and I'm not really sure if that's going to be solved anytime soon. That being said, it is probably the best way to do AR for the next 10 years, like anything related to your real life zone, so I get why they're going all gung-ho for it. But there's one more kind of AR that really no one ever talks about because the capabilities haven't been explored too much. There's been some small experiments here and there, but nothing that really blew my mind too much. Until literally this week. This all started when the developer of a painting app known as Vermillion VR pretty much posted on Twitter that they wanted to turn their application, which is a very good application if you're really into painting or want to learn how to paint to begin with. They wanted to turn it into a SteamVR overlay so you can run it over any other PC VR application. And it was funny because this was like 6 days ago from this video, and it was more like a dream. It wasn't actually something they expected at the time that they'd be able to do. Well, the magic of the internet and social media, basically a lot of people reached out to him and said, you could probably do this. Here's all the tools you need, all the application, the open source software. And 6 days later, there's a working prototype version that you can download and beta test and give a lot of feedback on the Discord, which I'll link in the description below. And before I jumped in, which I did jump in for like 2 hours testing it out, I immediately was thinking in my mind, this could be a real game changer and really show off the power of the capabilities of having a lot of processing with PC and all the stuff that's been already built and foundationed ever so slightly for Steam VR. So basically you just run any app in your library. Like I did 2 apps to test this out. The first one was Half-Life Alyx. I was running a very well done Portal cutscene kind of recreation in Half-Life Alyx. Very beautiful, a great sense of scale. I'll also link those in the description below if you want to check those out, which I heavily recommend if you're a Portal 2 fan. But after you launch that main game, all you have to do is also have Vermillion VR, a special build that requires a password. Again, all the information is in the description. And then you just launch it as a SteamVR overlay, and immediately you'll see the easel, all the paint tools, the overlay to be able to do all the different layers for painting. All that's just pops up in your environment. You can still switch between the actual main game input and the overlay input, so you can move stuff around, decide whether you want to actually move your character in the game or move things inside the overlay, and actually paint this beautiful scenery that is created in a VR setting that doesn't have to worry about crappy dynamic range or all the ugliness of mixed reality, or just being confined to a simple room that you really don't want to paint. It's not that interesting. And even though I'm not a good painter, I was just blown away being able to just go into different environments and paint them as just a hobbyist or at this point. That feeling was exemplified even more when I hopped into VR chat, and I basically told my friend to lay there like one of those French girls. And it was really cool being in full body while doing this, because for the most part, even though it's not overlaying into your hand, you can't wrap your VR chat fingers around the paintbrush, it was still incredible presence to have doing full body while also doing this overlay while being in a social VR environment with a friend and saying, yeah, this is looking awful, I'm so sorry I made you do this, but I gotta do it, this is so cool. It just really opens the door for way more things I would love to see people and developers mess with for Steam VR. This is really, again, the first full 3D thing that I just blew my mind, and I just had to make this video, even though it's only been 6 days since it's been started development, this feature, and it works for the most part. So again, if you really like to do painting or any sort of art hobbyist in general, I really do recommend this app to begin with, but especially when you want to open it up as a SteamVR overlay. It's just so magical, and I really hope that Valve and really other people are making overlays or like to tinker with overlays really start thinking about all the magic you can happen with the actual cross-platform possibilities of the huge rendering system you can plug your headset into. It's just so magical, so magical. All right, that's everything I had for today. I just had to share this with you. I thought it was just so cool, and it made me excited for the future of where this will go, and maybe other apps that might want to do this. Bye.